All right, tonight is our first exposure to two-step equations, and you can see the steps they have here. So finding the variable, just like always, and then it says here that you always add or subtract first, and then you always multiply or divide second to remove those variables. But that only works when it's in this format you see right here, okay? So there are a couple different formats a two-step equation could look like, and that's why I try to focus more on my clues and undos, as you see that I modeled on number 2. So I'm going to use clues and undos when I solve these problems. Hopefully by the end of the unit you won't have to set up the table, but if you still want to set it up, then set it up. It's just an organization table so you know what to do to solve. Okay? So to abbreviate it, I just use C and U, clues and undos. The clues is our order of operations. Okay? Do you see parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract? Okay, we've all seen that and done that. So when you look at the equation, I want you to look for the order of operations. To begin with, we are ignoring the 77 and we only look on the left side of the equation. Okay, so here's our variable. What is happening to our variable? So the first thing that would happen to our variable is the multiply, because order of operations says we multiply first. So my clue is that I need to multiply by 8. That's what's happening to our variable. Okay, if I was following order of operations, my second step would be to add that positive 5. Okay, so that's my order of operations when I only look at that left side of the equation. All right, our undos is how we solve. So what would I do to solve this equation? Well, I do everything in inverse. I do everything backwards, right? So I'm going to subtract 5 because that's my inverse operation of adding 5. And second, we are going to divide by 8. So I'm going to do my inverse operations and I'm going to do them in opposite order of PEMDAS. Clear as mud, right? A lot going on. So first we subtract the 5. So by subtracting 5 on both sides of that equation, I zero this out, leaving me with 8p. So I do not have my variable isolated yet, but I'm one step closer. Alright, so if I subtract 5 on this side, I get 72, which is awesome because it's divisible by 8. So I subtracted by 5. Now I'm ready to divide 8. So if I do one thing, do it to the left side, I have to do it to the right side. Alright, so we're going to divide by 8, which is 1, leaving me with my variable, 1p. So I've isolated my variable. And then I have 72 divided by 8, which is 9. Okay, it always tells you to check your solutions. So it's just a real quick mental check. Type it in, do something. But 72 plus 5 is in fact 77. Okay, just a quick check there. Okay, sliding over to number 4. People freak out when they see the fraction bar. Okay, I don't want you to be one of those people, so let's talk it through. Alright, here's my clues and undos table. Remember, I'm doing PEMDAS backwards. Okay, so what is happening to our variable? Well, first it's being divided by 3. Okay, so according to PEMDAS, I should divide m by 3. After I do that, according to PEMDAS, I should add 2. Alright, to solve an equation, we do everything wrong, right? We do it backwards and we do it opposite. So, the inverse of adding 2 is to subtract 2. And the opposite of dividing by 3 is to multiply by 3. Alright, so everything I wrote down in blue, I'm going to use to solve my equation. Alright, let's go. Let's subtract 2 from both sides of that equal sign. So a positive 2 minus 2, that's 0, leaving me with my variable attached to the number. And 0 take away 2 would be a negative 2. Alright? Alright, so I have subtracted by 2, and now I need to times by 3. Oh, I love doing this. When I multiply by 3 over 1, the 3's cross divide, leaving me with my lonely variable. Whatever I do to one side, I get to do to the other. Alright, 2 times 3, and then negative times a positive. Alright, so watch out for integer rules. Alright, number 5, here we go again. First thing I notice is that lonely variable, so I am going to add a 1. Zoom in a little. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to add a 1 here, and now my variable is no longer lonely. Alright, anybody still doing keep, change, change? If you want to, I don't mind. I really want you to know that that 1 is negative. Okay, that's going to be a crucial part of this. Alright, so clues and undos. How to solve our problem. According to PEMDAS, the P is being multiplied by a negative 1. Alright, and according to PEMDAS, it's being added by 3. It's being added because the 3 is positive. Alright, now we need to talk about, well, what do I need to do to solve? Alright, to solve an equation, we do things in reverse, and we do it opposite, right? So we're going to subtract 3 instead of add 3, and we will end up dividing by negative 1 instead of multiplying by negative 1. Alright, so first I got to zero out the 3. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. So that would be 0 on the left. Ooh, keep, change, change. Same signs, add and keep. Gives us a negative 15. Equals a negative 1p. See, I'm really glad we did keep, change, change there, because some people forget to drop down that minus as a negative. So, good thing we did that. Alright, last but not least, we did that, right? So we're ready to divide by negative 1. Divide by negative 1 on both sides. Negative 1 divided by negative 1 is positive 1, so that gets our variable lonely. 15 divided by 1 is just 15, but here's the key thing. A negative divided by a negative makes the 15 positive. Alright, so that's why we had to do all that dividing. Alright, good work. Okay, here's another look at two-step equations. I don't know that this is going to be a huge focus for us, but I want you to be able to say that you've seen it. Okay, so clues and undos. Clues and undos, just like on the other side. I want you to put this in parentheses because this vinculum, that fraction bar, is a grouping symbol. Okay, so according to PEMDAS, I need to add 4 first because they're grouped together. Okay, according to PEMDAS, I would then divide by 4. Alright, in order to solve, I'm going to do that all in reverse. Alright, I'm going to multiply by 4 and then subtract 4. Sorry, I picked a problem with all 4s. That makes things silly. Okay, so I'm going to multiply by 4. Oh, I love to do this because 4 over 1, the 4's cross simplify. Okay, so that's another reason we want to get rid of the denominator. So by multiplying by 4, I do that. Okay, so those 4's are gone, but I am left with my numerator. And then on the other side, 4 times 4 is 16. Alright, so I have multiplied by 4 on both sides. And now we get to subtract 4. Subtract 4. Boom. 4 minus 4 is 0, so leaving us with our lonely variable, and then 16 minus 4. Okay, I went through that quickly. There's another model for you there on the left. So, thank you for watching.